I'm Dr. Jeff Spencer. I am the creator of the Champions Blueprint High Achievement Program, and I'm also a cornerman that takes individuals, teams, and groups to their highest level of performance. Universally, the most important thing and the biggest obstruction that people have, and this includes high achievers, it also includes CEOs, is that they don't have a proactive legacy statement before they start. They think legacy is something that you create at life's end. It's a tabulation of life successes, but that's not really it. If you have a legacy statement up front, what it does, it acts as an integrity filter that each and every choice that you make runs through to keep you in integrity throughout the entire process. So universally, I've very rarely met a person that has a legacy statement in advance. Well, the key components of a legacy are, number one, is to decide exactly what it is that you want to be known for. Who are you, the individual? Kind, gentle, assertive. Also, what is it that you want to be known as? Great architect, Olympian. And then a third component of that would be, what is it that you want to leave behind? Because the thing to remember about a legacy is that, like life and taxes, every one of us is going to leave a legacy, whether we like it or not. And that legacy is an immortal footprint that we leave on human history as our personal case study about what we did with our time and our talents. And it's irrevocable. It's like you can't go back and rewrite it. So it lives on. It's our little part, it's our immortality that speaks to other people about what we did right and what we did wrong to help improve the quality of their life experience. Well, as an Olympian myself, there are many things that I learned from that. I wasn't just surrounded by some of the best people in the world, I was one. So I really understand what it takes to get there and stay there. And the thing that I can say is that there's nothing that you can't confront. There's nothing that can take you down. There's nothing outside of ourselves that ultimately could get in our way. But yet we don't know that and we don't trust that. We have sometimes more trust in our ability to fail than our ability to succeed. And so the most important lesson that I learned is that if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, you're going to ultimately get to the finish line. One of the most important rituals that I do each and every day, before I go to work, before I meet and interface with people, places, and things, I always decide how it is that I'm going to show up. You know, because I believe how I show up calls people to a higher game. You know, whatever's happening in my life personally, I kind of put that aside. I make sure that I always show up at the highest level to call people to their highest game. My real life superpower is that I can take a group, an individual, and I can craft the process and the path for them to be able to create a platform out of the greatest assets, to be able to create, first off, to be able to manifest their visions. Number one, live well. And then thirdly, leave an extremely memorable legacy. My real life superhero is my adopted daughter, who we adopted from Colombia at the age of 10, 6 years ago. She's now 16. And this kid at the age of 5 was doing her own laundry. She was making her own meals. And she was also exposed to the most insidious human cruelty that you can imagine. And at the age of 5, she realized that she needed to make a change. But the cost of that change is that she had to give up her country. She had to give up her family. She had to give up her name. And she had to give up her friends. So this is not only the face of commitment, but this is the face of courage. And you look at this kid today at 16 versus where she was at 10 that didn't speak one word of English. And now she's fluent. She's an amazing kid. So the thing is that if we ever think what we say or do doesn't matter, adopt a kid because they hang on your every word. And that's why she's my superhero. Well, my legacy obviously has 3 parts. Number one, the person that I would like to be known as. I'd like to be known as the guy that stepped up. I was the guy that answered the call. I wasn't contingent. I didn't barter for the value that I thought that it would give me. If I hear a calling, I show up for duty and I make sure that I'm there and I fully commit to it. Number two, what do I want to be known as? I want to be known as the guy that developed a model, the Champions Blueprint, that was a model that complemented every other achievement model out there. But what it did, rather than just show people how to do it, it showed people how to do the howing of how things get done. I want to be known for that. I want to be a guy that revolutionized how it is that we got from where we are to where we could be, rather than to be a statistic. Because my dad was a genius, he had a lot of will and he had a lot of talent. but his will and his talent didn't save him. He died homeless on the streets of New York City at the age of 65, which means I'll be dead in 2 years. And that was a tragedy that did not have to happen, but he was missing two things. He didn't have a blueprint that told him what to do, and he didn't have a corner man that was his guide. Turn right, turn left. And I want to be known as the guy that crafted a model that was revealed to me through what I did, through the gracious contribution of my mentors, to help people become what they could be, rather than my dad, who never became what he could have been. Well, one thing that every superhero can do to have just a massively impactful 2015 is to be available. And always show up for duty, and always put your best foot forward, because you never know who's watching or who's listening. And the one thing that you may say or do in the privacy of your own life that you think is not being noticed by anybody, it may be the one thing that changes a person's life permanently for the better. And that's what I think that we should all do.